Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Welcome to the Full 100, where the truth's told. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of June, and again, we are still in the thick of the two pandemics we're dealing with, the coronavirus as well as the racism pandemic. I'm going to switch tracks a little bit today, guys. I'm going to go over to the other pandemic, the medical pandemic. Guys, what you got to understand, this is a news channel. Love to stay on the topic of the moment and the fight of the moment and the movement. However, that's a one-trick pony type of situation. So guys, I'm just going to bring you guys up to speed real quick with it, and tomorrow's video is going to be about the updates on our movement and our fight so far, the global update. So do not miss tomorrow's video. However, without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So guys, as you know, the UK is opening in about 10 days. I think July the 4th. However, I'm worried, and this is why I needed to do this show today, to bring you guys a roundup. What I can tell you guys, there are countries who did excellently in the first run. Germany, South Korea, namely. And they are now having a second wave. South Korea, this is like their second wave has been popping up, coming down, and popping up and coming down, and popping up and coming down. Because the first time I disclosed a second wave in South Korea was about a month and a bit ago, and that was they discovered 140 new cases. So guys, take a look at I'll give you guys a quick world roundup on the situation across the world. Take a look.
Has pushed the total number of cases worldwide past 9 million. Mexico recorded more than 750 deaths in the past 24 hours, even worse than Brazil. India is grappling with a spike in new infections as well, adding more than 100,000 cases over the past 8 days. South Korean officials say they are seeing a second wave around the capital, Seoul. They blame small but persistent outbreaks over a holiday weekend in early May. The US remains hardest hit with more than 120,000 deaths and 2.3 million infections. Experts warn Florida is fast becoming the new epicenter. In Western Europe, the United Kingdom remains the region's worst-hit country with more than 42,000 coronavirus deaths. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson is set to further ease lockdown restrictions in England. A government source tells CNN cinemas and museums will be able to gradually open up from July 4th with strict social distancing guidelines.
Back, guys. So that's the critical situation right across the world right now. Well, the hotspots I can bring you, the main focus that I can bring to you. Now I want to go over to the UK. As I said earlier in the video, the UK is opening up. We're going to see the opening of pubs, bars, salons, hairdressers, barbershops. Yay, I'm glad about that. We haven't identified a second wave here yet. However, there are reasons for that, and I'm going to show you that reason in the next video after this one. However, take a look at this first video, which is the situation here in terms of the opening up and everything else. Take a look.
How is this going to work?
Daily death rate from COVID-19 since the pandemic began, just 15 people. The announcement today will set out which businesses in which sectors can reopen. On the list, we expect pubs, restaurants, as you mentioned, cinemas even, and museums. And then how can they reopen? What measures will need to be in place to keep people safe? There certainly won't be a pre-pandemic normal reopening. And part of that, the big announcement we announced to be on social distancing. Currently in the UK, the rule is for 2 meters to be maintained where possible in social distancing. That could be reduced to just 1 meter, which make a big difference for many of these businesses. The virus start to spread. They could put the handbrake on. You can expect lockdown to be put back into either isolated cases around the UK where there's an outbreak, or it could be full nationwide lockdown again.
Guys, you know, we have to open up. I'm not gonna, come on, the economy, people have to go back to work at some point. My main issue is having the infrastructure in place, having the right mentality of your citizens in place. Because as long as, for example, I will go to the barbers. I was talking to my son earlier today. I said, there's no way we're going barbers without masks. And I'm not going to go to the same barber if he's on a Trump tip and don't want to wear masks. So my brother has to wear a mask, and me and my child are wearing a mask. So I've been to the protest marches now 3 weekends on the trot. I hope I'm all right. I seem to be all right. I knew when to really activate my mask, when to be proper protective of that. And when I was on the march with the people, I made sure I was covered. So it's all about the right attitude, and with the right attitude, we could possibly avoid a second wave. However, how is finding out, discovering a second wave. What leads me now onto my third video. So guys, take a look at this.
About how much progress has been achieved with testing, contact tracing and isolating of cases in the UK.
Okay, well, on the testing front, now anyone that has a major symptom of coronavirus can order a test. So that is much better than it was just a few weeks ago. The UK is also actually trialing out a saliva test where you could just spit into a pot, which would be much more pleasant than the swabbing test. That might make it easier to roll out more testing as well. Antibody testing hasn't yet rolled out to the general public as of yet. Contact tracing has been something of an embarrassment for the government here. They had hailed that they were creating a contact tracing app, which they did create and they did trial it. It just didn't work. They had called it world leading, and it certainly wasn't. They're now looking to work with Google and Apple on a new app, but that could take months before it's ready. Not done.
Welcome back, guys. So that's you see my problem. We haven't had anything right in this country as far as this thing's concerned. Even now, we still don't have it right. Do you understand my worry? And that's why I need to keep you guys focused and keep you guys informed. When we unlock to stage 2 or stage 3, I think it is, on the 4th of July, guys, it's all about protecting yourself, because this thing is still out there. If Germany and South Korea can still be having issues, then who are we not to have issues when we haven't even done 10% of what they got right? Okay, so here's South Korea's story, just so you understand what I mean. Take a look.
CDC's director said in a briefing Monday, regional outbreaks are occurring and more are expected. Health authorities are getting enough hospital beds ready to deal with a large-scale outbreak, as the number of cases is expected to rise in the fall and winter months. And CNN's Paula Hancock is in Seoul, South Korea. She joins us now live. Good to see you, Paula. So, of course, after being hailed a great success in conquering the virus, South Korea now confronting this second wave in a wake-up call, in fact, to all of us. What is the latest on this?
Welcome back, guys. I'd just like to make a quick mention before we go over to America, because my next stop is the US and Trump and his diabolical behavior. But I want to send a big shout to the black nations, because none of them have had a major crisis. I mean, I predicted that Africa will be the next wave. However, as I predicted, and I started to really think about it, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I changed that. I changed that prediction only for one thing alone, because they shut down when we shut down. They didn't wait for it to start getting to them to shut down. They shut down when we shut down. Plus, when we shut down, we saved them a lot of hassle. We saved all the flights that went over there. God's taking care of them for a change. Normally it's the poorer countries that get these earthquakes and these floods and stuff like this. On this occasion, God's really gone out and said, you know what, you guys have taken a battering for many, many decades. So this time I'm going to look after you guys. So God bless them. They really have got away with it on this one. Guys, I want to go to America now, yeah? I brought you guys the story a couple of days ago. The last time I touched on this, that Trump was he got people to sign a disclaimer to his rally, and so they had to sign that if they caught Corona coming to his rally. But why have a rally? The venue had barred every other event for the whole of July up until the end of July. Trump pressured them. People at doctors are saying, why would you do this? No other places, but he wants to, and then he's not wearing masks. They're providing masks, but they don't have to wear masks. They're just providing for TV show. Yeah. So he had the rally on Saturday, and it was a disaster. Take a look.
Trump campaign staffers have tested positive for coronavirus after attending the president's rally in Oklahoma. 8 staffers and 2 Secret Service agents were diagnosed over the weekend. And that's just one of the problems the White House is dealing with.
It's a disease, without question, has more names than any disease in history. I can name Kung Flu,
After the president used that phrase to refer to coronavirus on Saturday night, the White House defended it despite criticism that it's racist and place of origin. The White House says it's not racist and that Trump doesn't regret using that phrase, despite civil liberties groups arguing that terms like that can inspire racism against Asian Americans. It wasn't the president's only scrutiny. The White House faced questions after Trump said he instructed his staff to slow down coronavirus testing.
You know, testing is a double-edged sword. When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please.
At first, White House officials said
I think they was expecting something like 80,000, 100,000 outside. Inside held 19,000. So they guaranteed they were going to fill that. And then they made arrangements for the set of speakers or what it was saying indoors and screens and everything else. You can see how empty it was. They had less than 6,000 people for a 19,000 venue. Then none of the 80,000 they was expecting outside turned up. Take a look at his picture when he got off the plane. Look at this. That's not all. Listen to this. So he made a lot of racist remarks. You know, this guy is a diehard. You know, I can't wait for him to be locked up because he's going to go to prison for a lot of stuff he's doing right now behind the scenes that I'm not bringing to you guys yet because it's another level of information. It's another level. Those who are keeping informed will know what I'm talking about. But when the time comes, then I'll bring you guys up to speed with that. Listen to the guys, them trying to defend him. Take a look.
Why the president didn't say he was joking.
The president instead used that opportunity to extol the fact that we've done more than 25 million tests, that we're finding more people because we're doing more testing.
Trump addressed a partially filled arena in Tulsa on Saturday night, and sources later said he was seething over the rows of empty seats, though his aides claimed he was in a great mood. When the president himself was asked Monday whether he had directed officials to slow down testing, he paused.
But did you ask to slow it down?
If it did slow down, frankly, I think we're way ahead of ourselves, if you want to know the truth. We've done too good a job.
He's asked for the testing to be slowed down?
No, it's not. And as a matter of fact, the United States leads the world in testing. We've tested as a nation more than 25 million Americans and about a half million.
So why is he saying that then?
It was clearly, I understand that there's not much of a sense of humor at CNN Center, but the president was joking, trying to illustrate the point that when you do expand testing, you will naturally expand the number of positive cases that you detect.
Well, I mean, Tim, 120,000 Americans dead and millions of Americans unemployed. I do not think that is funny. Do you think that is funny?
He was trying to illustrate the point that when you expand testing in the manner that the United States has, in fact, in leading the world, you can often use ironic humor.
Is it funny, Tim?
He was
is it
trying
dead
to
Americans, unemployed Americans? Is that funny to you? You won't answer it, and there's a reason why. There is a reason why.
You know, I don't know how these guys are going to have a life after politics. That's the thing about working for Donald Trump. You know, you're defending one thing, then he says something else, then you defend it, then he says something else, then you defend it, then he says something else. Then what you defended, he goes back and repeats it. Then you have to say, well, he didn't mean. I don't know how they're going to get a job after. But listen, now he's got another rally today for students. Unbelievable. In Arizona, whose case is going up and up and up and up. Take a look. Unbelievable.
On the campaign trail, despite warnings not to hold mass gatherings during the coronavirus pandemic. After his Tulsa rally fell short on crowd size, Mr. Trump is off to Phoenix, Arizona in the coming hours for an event organized by Students for Trump. He didn't wear a mask in Tulsa, but coronavirus cases are spiking in the state, as you can see from this map, and Phoenix's mayor told CNN she thinks President Trump should send the strongest signal to his supporters to be safe and wear masks.
I've come to the end of the video. Look out for my video tomorrow. That's about the updates on everything that's happening around the protests and what's happening in each country. Police are crying that they're losing that they're getting charged and all that sort of stuff. So never mind all that. I hear it's going to be a scorcher at the end of the week, 33 degrees and above. So enjoy the sun, stay out the sun, keep well, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care now, and bye-bye.